my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. Well, folks, the sports community is very sad. It's very sad. Wow. It's a very sad place today, right? And I guess it really didn't take long to really see who these guys really are, folks. Eventually, they exposed themselves, who they really are. And look, folks, I've never had my opinions on life and what I stand for. I don't act like I'm with the system, on one side with the system. You already know. There's two sides of the system: Democrat, Republican, black or white. And there's always got to be a wrong and a right. That's part of the system, right? If you don't go along with that part of the system, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're a whack job, something's wrong with that guy, you better watch him. You know, and then again, those same people, they will act like they're against the system, folks. They can't make up their mind. But they already have made up their mind, really. People think that, you know, they really can't make up their mind, but they've already made up their mind to conform with the system and basically promote the system because they are gatekeepers of the system. And guess what? If they conform with the system, they will be rewarded, right? So again, people who participate in black and white, which we already talked, there's no such thing, and they already know that. It's just a status. Nobody's a color black or white. Black is really an offensive word if you look it up from the beginning. So-called black people never called themselves black. They were told black is beautiful, black pride, and all this stuff by so-called black leaders who were put out there by the system. That's it, folks. By the system. Just like it's offensive all of a sudden to say what? Redskin. You can't call somebody to have skin that is red. That's offensive. But to call somebody the color black, it's not offensive. When it was a racial word from the beginning. Right? So we all know these are statuses. In the gatekeepers who pump this thing, they know it's offensive too, but it's just part of the status to keep people in a certain status, right? If you don't participate in a Democrat and Republican, and you say it's fake, and they're all together, but we already put out videos. You can't, your vote don't count according to their own law. The people only get the citizens only get the popular vote, which doesn't elect the president. Only the electoral college elects the president, and the people, the regular citizens, don't get that vote. So, you know, you won't never hear nobody so-called truth tellers telling this. We already put out the video with clear evidence in the Constitution after the War of Independence, when the Constitution was written. That was the law. That's the law. The citizens only get the popular vote, which is a feel-good vote, right? And that the companies and corporations really run this country, and the politicians elect the president, right? So what I'm trying to say is, folks, at the end of the day, before we get in what Skap Attack had to say, and him going against Gilbert Arenas, which is pitiful and sorry, and you know it really exposes a lot about this YouTube sports community. What I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, these guys really have shown me one thing, and it really started a long time ago, and I've seen it, that these guys are really, really good friends. These people that so-called are supposed to go against each other and disagree with each other's views. Now, I'm not trying to say you got to hate somebody because you disagree with their views. I'm not trying to say that, but they will trash each other to the highest level and then do business with each other. And this is how it always is. To make money and to trick people and to control people, guess what? You always got to have a good guy, right? You got to have the KKK. You got to have a black leader, coalition, whatever it is. You got to have You got to have a Democrat. You got to have a Republican. You got to have a Biggie. You got to have a Tupac. You got to have a, what do you want to call it? You want to have the Europeans against the Indians. You got to have, this country against this country. You got to have a Martin Luther King versus Malcolm X. You always got to have a good guy and you got to have a bad guy. But at the end of the day, the good guy and the bad guy, well, you got to have a good guy. You got to have a boogeyman, right? That's just how it is. Either way you want to say it, good guy, bad guy. But the good guy and the bad guy is always in bed with each other, right? And that's what this sports community is really about. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen a lot of these people who claim they're about the truth. They're about the system. They're really about the system. I'm not going to try to say all the guys that I follow, but the majority of them, they what you think is truth tellers. They're all in it together, one way or another, right? And it just goes back to a lot of these guys. They don't work for the system. Let me say, they don't work for the system. So at the end of the day, they don't work for the media, all this stuff. So at the end of the day, they're not against Rome, right? They're not against it. So people who trash the legacies of, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, past players, and they act like they're against those guys who do it, they're not really against those guys, man. They're not really against them. And we're talking about not trashing them because that's clearly how they feel about their opinion and their views on a matter at hand. They do it for money. They do it for money. They do it for money. And guess what? Usually these type of guys make all the money, right? We was talking about the other day, and we talk about this all the time. The truth, the lie is beautiful. It feels good. Give me some more. The truth is ugly. It don't feel good. Get it away from me, right? So basically, the liars make all the money, right? And these guys are bold-faced lying, telling bold-faced lies to make money. And most of these people, like I said, in the sports YouTube community, these guys aren't like average people that just started up a YouTube channel. A lot of them, not just the faces that you've seen that, oh, okay, he got his own channel. He worked for Fox, or he used to work for ESPN. Well, we know those faces, but it's a lot of faces. A lot of channels out there that work for Fox, work for NBC, CBS, all these different sports media communities, well, not communities, just media sports networks that you've never even seen their face on TV. They've worked behind the scenes, right? They never made it big to where they could be on TV. So eventually they end up starting YouTube channels. So I'm just telling you who they are. They're not just like regular people like you and me who start up a channel. And them too will have the advantage just from their status of getting all the views, getting subs that me or you couldn't get. They can do and say stuff that will get me and you not monetized or demonetized, and they wouldn't, or they won't, because of their status. Aren't really here to tell any truth when it comes down to it. What I'm trying to say is, man, these people, they're all affiliated with each other. The majority of them. I'm not going to try to say all of them. So I'm saying all that to say this YouTube community has become pitiful. Well, the sports community. You see Skap Attack, and look, I don't care. I'm going to call it out for what it is. I called out Dreamers Pro, and him working for ESPN and Fox Sports and stuff like that. I don't care what he says. His channel does not exist, folks. I don't care who rocks with him. His channel does not exist without him promoting ESPN and Fox. It doesn't. It doesn't. And if this clown can tell you, would his channel exist without him promoting ESPN and Fox? And why would anybody, not that, I'm not going to sit here and try to say, I've never talked about ESPN and Fox. I'm not going to try to say there's not other channels that don't sit up there and talk about ESPN and Fox Sports. But the fact this guy talks about ESPN and Fox Sports every damn video or every other damn video ad nauseum, and you're trying to tell me you don't get paid for promoting basically their shows every single day. You don't get paid by them? No money. Wow, buddy, you're getting cheated. Because nobody watches that garbage like that because they're liars. So you promote liars and promote something really nobody ever watches. Don't tell me about their numbers on what show. I don't believe it. Anybody can say anything just for the hell of it. But whatever you think their numbers are that they're telling you, they're all liars on those shows. All they do is lie for the most part. So you're literally promoting their platforms and not getting paid for it? Okay. Wow, that's crazy, buddy. You seem to have a lot of smarts, but you don't have enough smarts not to get nothing in your pocket from them for promoting them ad nauseum? Wow. Okay. So yeah, I was one of the first to call out. I won't say first, but maybe I'm the first to say he is associated or some way on their payroll for the things he does. His channel basically revolves off a soap opera of what Fox Sports and what did you see what Shannon said? Did you see what Molly said? Did you see what this person said at Fox? That's like 90% of his content. It's a damn soap opera. No, nobody saw it. Because all they do is lie and flip-flop. So yeah, I wasn't scared to call that out. Just like I wasn't scared to call Johnny Arnett out and say he was doing Clutch Sports work. He still ain't put out the LeBron James video. He said he was gonna do it next, folks. When he got the kickback and everybody was on his ass, guess what? He said, "Oh, I'm gonna put that video out." He ain't did it yet, folks. He ain't did it yet because he don't want to lose his little money and his little fans. He don't want to do it. But he was the first one out there putting out clutch work. Doing clutch work. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. This is what gatekeepers do. They'll lie. Oh, man, I don't work for Clutch, man. I ain't affiliated with Clutch. So why would you go out there and do clutch work? Is what we're saying. What you did in that video was clutch work. Only people that would appreciate that is Clutch and the LeBron fans. They went head over heels to go get these tapes and do clutch work. So Skap Attack. This is the whole point about the whole video right here. But I like to lay the foundation, right? And how, this guy, look, the guy does great work. And a lot of people can't touch him and what he does because he worked for the system. He worked for the media, just like I was saying earlier. So we're not trying to say he don't do great work. Never said Johnny Arnett didn't do great work, but a lot of these guys will really show their hand in who they are, really. Right? They're not against the system. They're not against bad, and stuff like that. They're just on the other side. Like I said, you got to have a good and a bad. That's how the world works. So Skap Attack, we can't hate on him. He makes good material, but like I said, he's been ahead of the game for a hot minute. As far as sports journalism, this is my issue with the guy. And I've said this in the past. I like the guy's channel. He does great work. And, I think he's a guy that should have, right now, 100,000 subs. But he doesn't. This is what I'm going to say. And him talking about Kobe Bryant. And I told you guys, I didn't like the fact that he went and he did a one-on-one against Gilbert Arenas. You gotta love Gilbert Arenas because everybody is bowing down to this guy's feet. Is bowing down to this guy's feet. Like I said, you gotta have a good guy, you gotta have a bad guy. And they claim this guy is a buffoon, a liar, and all this stuff. But everybody's bowing down to his feet. Why? Because he's averaging 100,000 views every video. If you go look at his channel. And what's it based off of? Basically lies, for the most part. Go listen to him speak. Right? That's what this world is about. The liars make the money, like I told you before. A lie is beautiful. The truth is ugly. So, yeah, Gilbert Arenas, he got everybody bowing down to his feet, kissing his feet. So if you was a liar out here in the real world, you basically get shunned. People won't want you around. Right? If they done caught you in lie after lie after lie, you're not a person that is good. Anybody gonna want to be around you or take any truth from. So why is Gilbert Arenas the guy that people is taking truth from? And when you guys say, what do you mean taking truth from this guy if he's a liar? Well, we're not saying exactly truth, but they're taking him for all his lies and his bullish and trying to make money on their platforms. Because if they say Gilbert Arenas said this, Gilbert Arenas said that, Gilbert Arenas, now they can get views. They don't eat unless they say Gilbert Arenas, which Gilbert Arenas is going to eat even more. So why does anybody care what a liar says? Why? Why would anybody want to debate a liar? Because if you debate a liar, he ain't just got an opinion. He lies. And trust me, folks, this guy isn't dumb. This ain't some, some random thinking dude that just thinks all this stuff that he says is real and true. He's already said it. He says these things to get a reaction out of people and to make money, get views. So these are the YouTube sports community. These guys are the ones that want to be affiliated with this guy. Whether they say his name to get views or they want to do debates with this guy. Really? This is crazy. So you got Skap Attack out here, literally bound down to this guy's feet and wants to be justified by Gilbert Arenas. Please, Gilbert Arenas, say Kobe he didn't get carried, man. This is a journalist guy. This guy that worked in that field, in media. Please accept Kobe as not being a Robin. Please stop telling people that. What? What is this, folks? And then he's thanking FYF Sports, and he's thanking Gilbert Arenas that they gave him the time to put his spill out there and put his case out there that Kobe Bryant wasn't carried. Kobe Bryant wasn't a Robin. To these guys, he needs their approval. It needs, for some reason, for them to say, no, Kobe Bryant wasn't carried and wasn't a Robin in the first three-peat. To these guys. Pretty sad, guys. To people who lie. So to me, these guys make this thing all about money. If I battle Gilbert, I can get my platform out there, to more people. So if you go against a liar, so what's a liar going to do? A liar is going to stack up one lie on top of another lie. You think he's going to give in? Well, all the subs, he's got all his subs basically off the line. Basically off the line about LeBron James. And you want to be justified by this guy? About what you feel, what you think about Kobe Bryant? It makes no sense to me. And then he said something about that he don't understand how Kobe Bryant could be carried or be a 1B. When you look at Magic, when you look at Kareem, and when you look at Worthy, they all won MVPs in the 80s in the Showtime finals run. They all won finals MVP. So how was one better than the other? You kind of lose that argument. I mean, because he's using Kobe, scored more fourth quarter points. Kobe scored more clutch points. Kobe scored more these points during the 2000 what was it? The second championship and the third championship. Okay, to me, what really counts is we can't. Okay, I can understand Kobe. You can't say he was carried, or maybe if you want to say he was not a Batman. I mean a Robin. But when you say and you do the comparison with James Worthy, Kareem, and Magic, all won Finals MVPs, you just lost your whole argument right there, because Kobe Bryant didn't win no Finals MVPs. At best, if there was an MVP of the West, he would have won the West MVP back then. So what I'm trying to say is, the only thing that really matters at the end of the day in those championships is who won the Finals MVP. That's the only thing that really matters. We can't say that Michael Jordan carried Scottie Pippen through all those runs. Maybe he did in '98, but in all 6 Finals runs, he didn't carry Pippen. Did Pippen deserve the Finals MVP in any of them? No, I don't think so. But did Kobe deserve the Finals MVP in any of those championships? Who knows? In Finals MVP isn't based on what you did in your conference. It's based on what you did in the finals. And obviously, Kobe didn't do enough in the finals. Did he have to do a lot? I don't think so. Because Shaq wasn't going against no competition. But the fact is, why did Kobe say, "Let me eat"? Let me eat. Since we both brought each other to the finals all 3 times, basically. Or like Skap says, Kobe did most of the work, the scoring, in 2 of those finals runs in the West. So how come Kobe didn't say, "Look, man, I got to get one of these Finals MVPs, man. I done did all this work. I won a Finals MVP." And Shaq said, "Oh yeah, you're right." How come Kobe didn't take it in his hands against some of this weak competition, especially against the Nets? Shaq didn't really have to be that dominant against the Nets. In that case, really, the 76ers. They really had one scorer on that team. I mean, so I would just blow that, he would make that comparison, with Worthy, Kareem, and Magic, of them winning Finals MVPs. So you really didn't have no Batman on those Lakers teams, because, everybody was winning Finals MVPs out of those 3 guys. But why wasn't Kobe winning Finals MVP? And I know that kind of sounds silly, because we know that Shaq wasn't playing nobody, so he just went straight domination on his competition, in the center competition. In no way am I saying Kobe was carried, or he was a 1B, whatever you want to call it. The fact is, why did he try to go for the Finals MVP? Through either talking to Shaq, talking to the team, or Shaq having enough respect for him and say, "Hey, buddy, you did some great things in the Western Conference playoffs to get us here. So I'm going to make sure you get that Finals MVP." What happened to all that? Nobody mentions that. So Skap will always be lost in this argument when you have a guy that won 3 straight Finals MVPs. The only guy who did that was Michael Jordan. So Shaq is in a damn league of his own, folks. Whatever Skap Attack wants to rank Kobe and say he's not a 1B or got carried, everybody's always going to think that. That's just the facts. When you're winning championships, Nobody ever looks at the playoff run in the East or the West of how you got there. When we talk about Michael Jordan's championships, nobody really talks about how he got there. They really don't. In the big grand scheme of things, I mean, the casuals don't care. When we talk about the Super Bowl, does anybody remember the route that Brady really went through to get there? No. Does anybody really care? No. They only talk about the Super Bowl and what happened in the Super Bowl. That's it, folks. So everybody's always going to talk about what happened in the finals. Yeah, you can't. I never hear nobody, as great as Kobe was, we're not trying to downplay how great he was through the Western Conference playoffs. We all know if it wasn't for what he did, they wouldn't be there. But nobody never cares about this stuff. And it's great that Skap brought up these numbers because a lot of people won't never know. And that's why they came out with East and West MVPs. Because sometimes these guys do great things to get there and never get recognized. And they want to recognize these guys. So what were they? Finals, East and West MVPs. That's it, folks. They weren't finals MVPs. It's a whole different game that they're playing now. They're playing the East now. They're not playing the West. They're playing the East. And the East opponents fought through the East to get to the finals. So do I agree with Gilbert's opinion, whack job opinion? No, I don't. I don't agree with his opinion of Kobe being carried. But again, nobody cares about what happened en route of you getting there in terms of the finals. Period. You being in there. What did you do in the finals? Michael Jordan is basically, for his 6 championships, what do we always say? He showed up and he showed out in those finals. In the majority of them, he had historic games. The flu games, the last shot, what he did in the first finals. Magic Johnson on a whole different level. Can't shoot the 3. These type of things. All these legendary games Michael Jordan had. Basically, Shaq didn't have those type of legendary games, but when you look at his numbers, they were incredible. So that's all I'm trying to say. You can't. Nobody's ever going to remember what Kobe did through the West. It's about what happened in the finals, folks. And that's where Skap Attack, he kind of loses his whole argument to the LeBron fans, really, about him being a Robin and a sidekick and all that stuff. Because he did nothing in the finals that I'm not gonna say he didn't do nothing in the finals. Look, I'm just saying he didn't do nothing to deserve the finals MVP according to the voters. Okay, and like I said, they should have been. If they had that much respect for Kobe, the organization, the coach, with Shaq, they would have made sure this guy at least got one of the finals MVPs. But obviously they didn't, and he didn't get it, folks. And that will always hurt him in the grand scheme of things. That's just it, folks. There's no argument for it. They had 3 great guys on that Lakers team. The argument that he tried to make Worthy, Kareem, and Magic, and somehow each one of them was able to win Finals MVP convincingly. And we think that obviously the Lakers was going against better competition. So when Worthy was big time, what do they call him? I forget what they call him. Anyways, Worthy, he was able to do big things against good teams that he was going against in the finals. And that's why I won Finals MVP. Magic too, going against good teams, did great things and was clutch. So that's all I'm gonna say about that, man. It's just, to me, it's sad to see these guys out here. They're more about money than what we would call, you know, I don't know what you would call it, man. More than anything, there's no way I would debate Gilbert Arenas a liar. There was no way I would go on FYF's channel. There's no way. That's why when I saw him going, Michael Jordan fans is the best, I said, well, this thing is all about money, man. This thing ain't about no integrity. None of that, folks. These guys are all in it together to make money. When you see these guys group up with other media people that used to be in the media and stuff like that, it's all about money. These guys aren't against no good and bad and all that stuff. It's all just fantasy, and these guys acting like they stand for something, and they really don't. They stand for the money first. That's it. That's it. You see Kwame Brown out there, this thing is all about money, folks. That's all these guys stand for, is money. They're not really against each other. You gotta have a good guy, you gotta have a bad guy. That's what really sells. Deception really sells. That's it. You really can't get too much truth from none of these platforms. You really can't. Do a lot of them do good work? Yeah. Yeah, they do good work. But we don't have the advantages that they got. Right? We're not in, we never work for the media. So we don't have those type of skills to get those subs. You know, we don't have that kind of schooling to do the type of things they do. And I'm not jealous and I'm not mad at those things, but the deception out here with a lot of these guys are real. They're not against each other. They really don't stand for what they stand for in the whole grand scheme of things. They're about money first. That's it. Look, when I started my YouTube channel, I was shocked. I didn't even know you could make money off of YouTube. I didn't. Seriously. As dumb as that sounds, I didn't know you could make any money. And then when I got to a certain amount of subs, they were like, oh, you can qualify to be monetized. And I was like, what? Monetized? And then suddenly, they didn't want to monetize me because the way I talk. Because they don't want you being monetized and, you know, ads being put on your channel. Again, if you're not in line with the rest of the sheep. We talked about that at the beginning. You got to take one side. You cannot go outside of what the system wants you to be like. So they start making up lies and start saying use material. No, reuse material. I was like, what? What do you mean reuse? And then you look on everybody else's channel. I ain't saying everybody, but a lot of these people's channel, they reuse material. So I read some of this so-called reuse material, and they said nope. So when you start looking into it, man, it's about who they want to be monetized and make money if you conform with their norm. Basically, that's what it is. Because these people there's channels that use other people's material every single day, every video. But they want you to kind of like put some little spin on it to make it look like it ain't reused. It's like, it was so ridiculous. But after a while, I was like, well, I don't even care, because I don't want to be like them. So when they found out YouTube, remember, YouTube is ran by AI. There's millions of videos put out a day. They don't really have the manpower to go over every single person's video to see what they're doing right, see what they're doing wrong, who they are, blah blah blah. So they use AI to do the work. And that's pretty scary, folks. That's pretty scary. You got people there's millions of videos a day getting put out. And AI can go over all those videos. That's what I'm trying to tell you, folks. That's scary. We live in a scary world. We really do. Really scary world. What an AI can do. And we already know what an AI can do, but yeah, I'm gonna get off here. Truthfully, I might take a break off of YouTube, because I just see it as, you know, as far as sports and stuff like that, the sports community, to me, it's phony. A lot of these guys just in here for money. They ain't in here to tell the truth. They got to conform with what's going on, or they can't make no money. They pretty much have to talk about LeBron James. And you wonder why the guy won't retire, right? Because people can't make no money unless they talk about a loser. That's where we live in. Yep, can't make no money if they don't talk about this guy. I know. I done seen people's views. If you don't talk about this guy and you talk about something else, you ain't fixing to eat. And as much as people diss him and dislike him in their videos, they still got to wake up and talk about him, or they don't eat, folks. I'll tell you, that's what I'm saying. Evil and lies control the world. And money. That's how it is, folks. So, you know, it is what it is. I might take a break from all this because it really becomes repetitive. Even if you watch people's channels and making videos, they really talk about the same ish. They run out of, when we talk about the NBA, they run out of stuff to talk about and make videos. It's the same stuff every single day, just about, in different words. That's all it is. So I think I'm gonna take a break off of YouTube. Like I said, I'm in the sports community. I'm very disappointed, man. I'm just you know, because when you sit back and you watch these people, man, they just really show their hand at the end of the day, who they really are. You know, they're not about, you know, good. They're not about right. What you would so-called call it. They're not. They're about money. And you know, a lot of these people are just in it together, and they act like they're not, but they really are, folks. And I'm not trying to say people shouldn't be in it together. I'm saying what you would think would be the good people that's really with good sports and, you know, the right way, and, you know, against people who diss past eras and all this stuff. They're not really against those people who, you know, who they say they're against. It's all a buddy system, folks. So, you know, I don't know. Unless something crazy happens, I really don't care. And I don't think nothing will, because it's really the same stuff. Some stuff you might, oh man, this needs to be talked about. Really don't. It's really the same ish, right? It's really the same antics with the NBA. The NBA, it needs all these antics, all these people to say stupid stuff, whether it's current players or past players. All these players just need to say stupid stuff because their on-court play can't sell the game, because they're not good at what they do. They're just not as good as the players in the past. And that's why I keep trying to say, I don't think these guys make this kind of money. There's nothing to warrant. You know, when I look at it, these guys making this kind of money, I told you that. None of the YouTube community will say that. And I'll tell you why, because they're all buddy like that. They know not to say nothing like that. They know. They don't want to open up that can of worms. So, you guys tell me what you think, man. It's like, I was just so disappointed at this. When he went against Gilbert Arenas the first time, I was like, why though? I'm just saying why, because that guy's a liar. And then you got FYF Sports. This guy, wow. He shouldn't even affiliate himself with sports at all. This guy's one of the biggest liars, idiots. Him and Gilbert Arenas might be cousins. You gotta give these guys props. These guys are making all this money off of lying. This is crazy, folks. Off of lying. This is the world we live in, folks. This is the world. I guess as long as you pay your dues, wink, wink, you can do whatever you want. As long as you pay them dues, wink, wink. We won't talk about that. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about with that. As long as you pay your dues, you can do anything you want. I won't even expose that, because that's a whole different can of worms. So, yeah, I probably won't be on. You know, I got a lot of stuff that, you know, I can be doing. You know, I don't do this for money. So, I can go enjoy my life and do other things. You know, most of these guys do this for money, so they can't really, you know, do other things. And, you know, whoever wants to take this personal, and I didn't say their name, that's fine. Go ahead and take it personal. I don't care. I don't care. I didn't call nobody out by name. So if you want to think I'm talking about you, that's fine. But I didn't say nobody's name. The names that I said is the names that I said. And I'm not trying to speak for everybody when I say the sports YouTube community. I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm not. I'm speaking for some people. So if you feel like that's you, I don't know what to say. Maybe you feel guilty of it, but that's just the way it is, folks. But, you know, I'm not speaking for every guy out there that I listen to, because I think there's some good guys out there, And I think there's some good guys mixed in with, to me, I think, the bad guys. So you guys tell me what you think.